one of my biggest things in coming to Northwestern was to be a part of historical things. That was kind of one of the challenges that was exciting to me, to go to a place that hasn't had a certain level of success and to be able to do it consistently, and that was something I talked about from day one. Is we all want to go to that tournament the first time, but can we build a program that consistently is competitive in the toughest league in America? And these last 2 years have been incredibly rewarding, to be in the top 4 2 years in a row, to get to the NCAA tournament, to win a game, advance to the second round, are all things that we can really hope to use as a momentum builder going forward for our program.
We get to broadcast a lot of your post-game press conferences after the game as well, and I've really been struck the last couple of years in watching you, and I know you're someone that truly enjoys the game, but it looks like the last couple of years you have just had so much fun coaching this basketball team. Why?
First, it's the guys, and I think sometimes there's so much pressure involved. There's so much scrutiny. I think we all feel it at times, and I think I just made a conscious effort, before 2 years ago, to say, you know what, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna do my best as a coach. I'm gonna lead these guys the best I can, but I'm gonna try to enjoy it, because there's so much negativity. There's so much other stuff that can bring you down, and we had a great group. I mean, I was enjoying it because of the guys, coaching a guy like Boo Buie, but the other guys as well, and how they came out every night. They played for each other. They played together. To see our community, our fan base kind of rally around this group, I tried to enjoy it as much as I could.
You were Big Ten Coach of the Year 2 seasons ago, but there's many of us that believe you probably did an even better job this year because of the injuries that you had to deal with, and you still post double-digit Big Ten wins over number 1. How did this past year's group get accomplished what they got accomplished despite all of that stuff?
Yeah, I just think it was their will and their mentality. Coming off the tournament the year before, there was so much determination and to stamp it by going again. I mean, because it had never been done in school history, and to say, hey, that wasn't a one-off. This is who we're going to become now. And no matter what was thrown at us, whether it was injuries, whether it was sickness, whether it was guys, whatever, foul trouble, whatever it may be, whoever stepped into that role, there was just a determination that we were going to find a way. And that was really fun as a coach. When you're trying to build a program that it has a winning culture. I think when you have guys step up in adversity and kind of figuring out when things aren't going well, I think you feel like you're on the right track with that, and that's going to be our challenge going forward as well.
A lot of us say that as we get older as men, we become a lot more like our dads. You and I are the exact same vintage. We turned 50 at almost the exact same time. I see that in myself. Do you see more of your dad manifesting itself in you?
I think so. I think you find yourself maybe saying things or doing things, and you're like, man, those are the lessons I learned growing up. And fortunately, the lessons being around my dad, who was a coach, as everyone knows, and watching him lead and kind of go through his career, there's so many things that now I see as I'm getting a little bit older. Man, I learned more than I thought, and I picked up more than I thought, and it's incredible. And obviously, my dad's going to be going in the Hall of Fame this year, so to be there for him, with that moment is going to be incredibly special.
Chris, I know Northwestern's always been unique as such a not just unbelievable academic institution, but a private institution inside the Big Ten. USC now joins in that regard, but 3 additional schools on top of USC. How does this league, as an 18-team league going coast to coast, change the way that Northwestern basketball operates logistically?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all have to adjust. There's so much change. You've seen now with the transfer portal, with NIL, what's going to be coming down the pike possibly with the revenue sharing. And, how do we at Northwestern figure it out? I think that's the challenge with every school. We have to be true to who we are, but also you have to be flexible. You have to adapt to the times. You have to figure out how to be successful in this landscape. And this league's not going to get any easier. You talk about the programs coming in, traditional, really good basketball programs with terrific coaches, great fan bases, more travel, going to have to come out to the West a little bit, which I think is going to make us better. It's exciting, but a little more loss of sleep and headache from the coaching perspective, trying to stay in the mix.
Are there any locations or venues here that we're adding that you haven't played or coached in, or that you're really looking forward to going to see?
Yeah, I mean, I think all 4 of the programs. I mean, I had an opportunity when I played in college to play in Pauley Pavilion, which was really special, in a Duke UCLA game, which was awesome. Never been to USC, Oregon, and Washington as well. Never been in those venues. So really excited about some new opportunities. I think the one thing that's exciting about the Big Ten, and we've talked about it as a group, is how much passion and pride there is across all 18 18 teams in basketball. Like everywhere, and you saw it in home wins this year. I mean, winning on the road this year in the Big Ten was as hard as it's ever been, and I don't think that's going to change going forward.
And I don't want to pass up on something that you mentioned about your home arena, which over the last couple of years has truly become a massive home court edge. Have you seen that in how much the players appreciate and how much of a bonus and an edge they truly believe that place now is?
Absolutely. I mean, I think in our players' belief and their mentality going out in home games, we had the opportunity. We went 9-1, this year at home. Like, you have to do that if you want to be an NCAA tournament team. You got to win at home. And our crowds have been phenomenal. The students showing up. It's everything I kind of dreamed of, 11 years ago. So to see it come to fruition has been really special.
Those students know, right, that you can't continue to promise overtime and 100 to 99, because those have been the games you played there over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's been some amazing games against great teams, and we don't win those games without the fans. There's no question in my mind. That's what a home court atmosphere does. You get in those close games, in those big time last 4 minutes, last couple minutes, the guys feed off that crowd, and hopefully they'll keep coming out and supporting us, because we're going to need it.
Chris, I do want to finish by kind of going a little bit deeper into something that you brought up, and the need to adapt and the need to be flexible. We know this revenue sharing legislation is going to be figured out very soon, and it seems like an eventuality more than a possibility. The transfer portal is not going anywhere. We're just trying to figure out what it is. So as a coach, how do you make sure that what you're doing is for the program the best thing for Northwestern basketball?
Yeah, I think what it's done is it just kind of has to reconfigure a lot of the way you think about things. For me, I've been in this now 25, 30 years, and the way things were always done, it's a different time. There's going to be new rules. There's going to be a new configuration. There's going to be the money that's out there, the transferring, trying to keep your team together, trying to figure out roster sizes, recruiting, all those things. I think you're going to have to be flexible. You're going to have to adapt, and you're going to have to figure out every school, okay, how do we continue to be successful with who we are, the resources we have, what's coming down the pike. It does no good to say, I like it, I don't like it. This is the reality. This is going to be the new norm in high-level college sports, and it's going to be up to us to figure out how to continue to be successful.